Gen Z has broken the street culture curse, and they need credit.
The fact that the streets are being labeled as lame.
I hate when you arguing with a hood person, and they be like, "Cause you're not straight. You're not straight. You're not straight. You're not from the hood. You grew up with your parents." So
Phil, I agree with what old boy's saying. That yes, it has more detrimental for generations in the street culture than so. But here's the fact that I disagree with. I think that it's actually increased due to the that there are more people in glorifying the hood culture, because a lot of people start off in one way, and then when you see them in the adult world, that's the pop culture now. So a lot of people are doing it to fit in. A lot of people are using the street culture as a fad. Come on, bro.
No, I mean, I agree with that to a certain extent, but I kind of agree with the video. I have seen a switch, especially in young black dudes, like the KodyBear family, those young bucks. People like that, they show up and now they're like literally shunning the gang culture, the street culture. And I've been saying that for many years now, that's a problem with a lot of minority communities. It's that hood life, that street life, rap culture. It is basically glorified being a bad person.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you on that, but also look at how many dudes that I can't speak for you. You're a little bit older than me, but in my age group, a lot of people are sitting there in the street world, and half of them I knew in school, they weren't street dudes, bro. I'm keeping it a buck. They weren't street dudes. These motherfuckers were watching anime and reading comics or watching cartoons and stuff like the rest of everybody. A time skip happens, and now, oh man, I've been about this life. I did this, man. Oh, my mama, you got that, man. My mama been a street dude. Dad been a street dude, bro. Like, a lot of these dudes be faking the funk, bro. Half these dudes, they got new tattoos and got a grill, and now I'm hood for life, homie. Like, fuck out of here.
Gen Z has broken the street culture curse, and they need credit. When it's time to dogpile on people, we gonna do that. But when it's time to congratulate, we need to be just as loud. There are significantly less gang members in Gen Z. Significantly less street dudes. And I'm proud of y'all for that. I really am. Because we needed a generation to completely reject that entire way of thought. Because doing the opposite has broken families and created generational traumas for everybody involved. Gen Z is the generation that across the board has decided it doesn't even make sense to sacrifice your life for people who tell you that your life is worth nothing. Young Thug told Gunna, if we go to jail and do life, we just do life. And then we try to figure out how to get out. What sense does that make? None. That's what sense it makes. That line of thought is something that only can exist in the mind of someone who is exceptionally immature and hooked, connected to their trauma. Money Mitch told you he loved the game, and then the game took his life. Gen Z doesn't want that, and I applaud y'all for it.
How you feel about that, bro?
I mean, I agree. I mean, I was that kid. My older brother and other people, they joined gangs, they did X, Y, and Z, and when I watched them, I ain't gonna front, they just look scared to me. Anytime a random car hits the block, you don't know who it is. Who that? And then they're just seemingly on edge at that point. What was a moment of fun and hanging out with your boys turned into all of a sudden this serious moment of life and death.
Shh. The cops is here. My baby mama called me for child support. Fuck it, you know that shit's funny, bro. Fuck. For those who didn't know, I just did a fucking cartwheel.
And busted his shit.
And I remember growing up, if you wasn't street or had some type of ties to like being hood or being street, you was a lame. People would really be like, bro, you ain't got no real struggle. People would really try to roast you because you rather not be in the streets. But I believe that Gen Z is growing up in a generation where there's so many other options of things that you can be because they're able to see it all over the internet. There's so many different people other than putting yourself in a box of some type of street culture, especially when we're able to see the street culture in real time rather than just seeing the street culture in cool movies.
But yeah, I understand what the kid is trying to say, but the reality is that today these kids have options. They got video games, they got online, they got apps, they got social media. In the 90s and 2080s, when gangbanging and shit was glorified, these kids had nothing else to do but be in the streets. And let's be honest, parents didn't allow you to be in the home back then. What was the number one thing to say that parents used to tell their kids growing up?
Get your ass outside.
They would end up telling you to go play in traffic and not come home till the street lights turned on. That's what I heard growing up most of the time. I wasn't allowed to be in the house. Inside the house was for adults, outside was for kids. But today, in the last 10, 15 years, that's been flipped around. Indoors is for kids now. There's things for them to do to stay out of their parents' hair enough for them to be allowed to stay in the home. And also, parents today are more scared of the world, so they don't want their kids out there in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Also, to add on to you, bro, is that one thing this generation has learned is that you don't have to be a street dude to be tough. Society has proven that multiple times. Think about it. Like the dude, like Tekashi the 6ix9ine said it better. The dude who unalived the CEO, Luigi, was he a street dude? But he stood on business. Regardless of how you feel about the Charlie Kirk situation, that dude was not a street dude. He was a regular citizen. But regardless, like I don't think what he did was right. But in his eyes, he stood on business. You don't have to be a street dude to stand on business. You don't have to be a street dude to be tough. You don't have to be there's multiple guys we can look up right now that are regular dudes, but guess what? Street dudes know how to watch their mouth when they're around them. Courts, for example. Do you think a judge is a gangster ass motherfucker? When he told you that you got 25 to life, was he, yeah, honey, you got that 25 to life, cuz? Oh, crap. No, he don't do that. No. You got 25 to life, and no matter how gangster, how tough you are, you doing your time. You doing your time. If you think so, name one street dude that you know got life and he proved them wrong. I ain't gonna do it. He was in that jail cell. That's all I'm saying. Fact or cap? Thank you. Let's get back to this.
The fact that the streets are being labeled as lame, bro, what? If only we had that patch method back then. Streets was always deemed as cool. Being gangster, cool. Being tough, cool. Ruining people's days on a day-to-day basis, whether it's fighting or cursing people out or even bringing guns to school was considered cool.
So what I want to say is that what he's saying is true, which goes back to what my boy Phil said. No, there's new generations to make avenues. For example, Phil, is speed a fucking I show speed? Is he a fucking gangster?
Nah, him or Kaisa not. They lame is by my terms and definitions of where I was raised, they both lame.
Neon.
Lame.
But guess what? They making money. They literally proven today. They got the street talk, but they ain't out here doing it.
Don't forget the white version, Aiden Ross. I ain't shooting shots at them. They're making their money. I respect their hustle. But no matter what you guys are saying, you don't look at them and be like, damn, Neon's a street dude. I show speed. He a street dude. No, he's an athlete. He a young boy with talent. Shout out to him. Actually, he's not. He became that. Man, he was just a kid. Speed was just a kid in his bedroom, man, streaming every day, getting yelled at by his mama for streaming every day. And then once he got out, he realized he was faster than people, and that became his identity. He found a niche and been sticking to it ever since.
Mr. Beast. Look at Mr. Beast and tell me, Phil, I'm going to leave the screen. Tell me a Beast, Mr. Beast and how gangster he is. You got it. It's all you.
Oh, man. Beast a thug, son. Beast a gangster. But Beast got a chocolate bar. Man, no. For real. Mr. Beast, he's just a regular white guy that had a dream. You know, what was his epic speech that he told his parents when he was 11? I'm either going to make it doing this or I'm going to be homeless.
Get money or die trying. On my mama. That's what he said.
Thug life.
I'm sorry.
God, I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to have a lot of faith in the next generation of black kids.
See, it's not only black kids that perpetuate the street culture, though. There's a lot of kids in other races as well that perpetuate street culture. But
actually, I would argue that, yeah, the black kids are coming out of the street culture, but the white kids and other races are just now diving into it.
Yeah, especially
little thug ass white boys out there. I mean, but then again, it's like a weird mix because they're not really thugs. They're like these simping wannabe thugs. You know, kind of like what are those two boys that kissed each other? Them twins.
Oh,
what were their names?
fucking
The Island Boys.
I'm an island boy, kissing my brother boo.
Man, get off me, man. Yeah, them little fucking white boys, they blew up and they acting like they get on ratchet, but we all know they soft as baby shit. One just got his ass whipped by Charleston White, one-eyed ass.
But yeah, bro, like I feel you on that. Like the generation of learning. I actually would say this. I think the street culture is now prevalent in other minority groups and whites, but I think the blacks are now moving to rock. Like,
I think that's your dream.
Nah, they are, bro.
I don't see
Cut my heart in 2 pieces.
Think about it. Think about it. Ask him this: when you were in high school, how many black dudes did you know was listening to rock and metal and shit, and they were cool?
Well, see, that's not fair. That's not fair.
No, I'm not saying. But a reason.
Okay, look, let me say. Look, and when I was living in the hood, like true hood, none. But when I moved kind of up north around 8th grade, they would be littered here and there.
But when they were in school, most people would joke on like, man, this nigga listen to rock. He a goofy. This, that, and the third. When I was in high school, it started to become prevalent because most of the dudes that were listening to rock, you couldn't bully them. It's hard to bully the quarterback. It's hard to bully the dude that does MMA outside of school. We had a dude in my school, Lucas Pinto. Bro, everybody was trying to talk to him. He was listening to country and this, that, and the third. He was listening to hip hop. He was listening to rap. But guess what? That boy would put you in a mean ass armbar. Mean one. Nobody was bullying him. He was the one that helped me get good in wrestling.
Yeah, but that's like down here in South Carolina. Up north, nah, those dudes, they were like, if you were rock, you were just considered either alternative or goth back then. There was no middle. The rock guys got no love. They were either categorized as alternative kids or they were categorized as the goth kids. They didn't get their own space anymore.
But I'm saying for my generation of school, most of the athletes were the rockers, anime, that, and the third. Think about it. If me and you hung out, no matter what these dudes are saying, it'll be like, yo, they could trip all they want, but if they want to fight, we'll throw them things. It's like, yo, I had manga in my book bag. I'm lifting weights with the football guys.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. You're 10 years younger than me. Your generation is a part of what he's kind of talking about. For me, like I said, nah, those dudes, those alternative kids, goth kids, they were soft. They weren't tough kids in any way or form.
I get what you're saying.
They were too busy being depressed and shit.
It was your heart all along.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I don't know why I go to that every time, but that's just my go-to for depression, I guess.
It was relatable.
Street niggas are not genuine at all. They grew up in a survival-based environment, so they don't want to make connections for real. They just want to see what they can get out of people. They're good at analyzing people. They're also good at human psychology, even though they don't study it. They pay attention to body language, mannerisms, just to see if you soft or you an easy lick. They study all this just to see if they can get over on you. All they want to do is see what they can get from you. Nobody is genuine in the streets. They all fake. Think about it. They had to struggle all day life. Their lifestyle is what can I get from others? What can I do to survive?
I don't think it's fake, like they're all fake, but I feel like he's talking about the general dudes that are too deep in the struggles. I know some street dudes that literally were in there and they would look out. They would look out for people, bro. They were actually going neck and limb.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Some of those street dudes, while they're looking out for one motherfucker, they're doing someone else super dirty. So
fair.
So that's not exactly. But I understand what he's saying. It's a dog eat dog world in the hood. That's what I always tell people. But it's a mindset. You know, everyone's raised in a savage place where the moment something like that is done to you, that gives you the kind of okay to go ahead and do it to someone else. And it just breeds over time. And with the community of people that are just basically savages at this point, it's truly a dog-eat-dog world. But it's the mindset.
Fair. I got you. But I'm going to add on to what you said, too. Because like you just said, they could do right by you. Like, for example, there might be a street dude that I know will look out for me like my boy Phil. Look at his sexy ass in the camera. Look at him. But then there'll be dudes like, he'll look out for me. But let's say he was slinging stuff in the streets. If he was slinging stuff in the streets, he's hurting someone else. He's getting that motherfucker addicted to some shit. He's getting that motherfucker hooked on rocks. You know what? I might be short on money because, you know, my wife may got cancer. My kid may be sick and I'm short on cash. He may get that money, but he might get that money by getting a lick off somebody else. We got to understand when it comes to shit like that, we have to accept when it do the street dudes, for them to, yeah, they can do right by people, but sometimes they got to do people dirty at the same, or like someone else dirty for them to do right by you.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The only people that really do right by people in the hood are the people that got something. When they got something, they'll be generous and helpful to other people. But when you ain't got nothing, it's either my baby, your baby, my family, your family, my table or your table. And we gonna choose our table. I'm gonna always choose my table over your table.
Yeah, like think about Boozy. Like, you ever heard of Boozy's Hitman? That dude was a fucking kid. Like, he was a kid. And he's got bodies. Now he got life in prison. Boozy's living the good life. We like allegedly he doesn't give him any money on his canteen. He doing his whole thing, looking at big booty girls and shit like that. But you have to admit, can you really look at him in that limelight when you know the background story? Think about that. We're gonna go to the next one, but think about that.
Be careful around street people. They're not regular people. Their minds don't function the same. Street people are narcissists. You know the saying, hurt people hurt people? There is no honor among thieves. A street nigga will snake you without even thinking twice. The people you help often are the ones who hurt you because their loyalty was not to you, it was to their need. Once their problem is solved, they don't see you as a savior. They see you as a reminder of their weakest moment. Rather than acknowledging who lifted them up, they'd rather convince themselves that they climbed there on their own.
Bro, I ain't even gonna lie, bro. That shit is hella true, bro. Because when you look at it, and no matter how you say it, there's some dudes you can look out for and get them out the mud, but they'll look at you like you weren't really the one helping them. They got lucky and you were just a reason they stepped up in life and shit. Like, no matter how we take it, bro, that's how it is. What do you think on it, man?
I mean, I kind of agree with the kid. I ain't really got much to add. The kid kind of fucking hit it right on the head. I mean, there's no honor among thieves. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, you're in an environment where everything is criminal element based. Everything. And you have typically nobody telling you that you could simply just get a job and move out. They make it seem like it's impossible.
And also, if I do a crime and you get caught for it, you can't snitch. But while you in prison, I'll bang your chick.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's what half these dudes be talking about. Why they, like, not many times I'll be at the clubs and dudes will be like, oh, when I was in prison or I was in jail, my homeboy was smashing my chick. Okay. Like, what do you expect? Like, you think she gonna just put that coochie on the chain wax and just...
You know what's fucked up is the funny part is it'll probably be your own brother that smashes your wife while you're locked up.
Ooh.
That's usually what happens. You have no idea how many times in the hood growing up I heard about two brothers going at it because while one was locked up, the other one smashed his baby mama.
Keep it in the family.
But you look like your brother.
Oh my God, stepbrother.
I hate when you arguing with a hood person and they be like, cause you're not straight. You're not straight. You're not straight. You're not from the hood. You grew up with your parents. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
What's wrong with that?
What is that supposed to mean? Like, nobody wants to be from the hood. You see these lights? You see these motherfuckers? Wait, so it's so many of them in here. I can't really point them out. But they was on my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't be arguing with you because you see this brain? It went to a nice high school and college. So, like, that don't got nothing to do. Like, what does upbringing have to do with what we discussing in the moment? It does. So,
I agree with what my boy's saying, but I have to admit, I want to know what that motherfucker been cooking, bro. You ain't see what that boy, he stirring the pot. That nigga, yeah, but does it cool to be a hood though? Like, come on, bro. Like,
I mean, but he got a valid point. Man, I wasn't raised like you. Why do I have to, you know, why I gotta pretend like I'm going through what you going through? I ain't going through that. My parents love me. Your parents say, fuck you. That's your problem.
Well, for some people, they think that, coming out from the streets builds character, which it can if you use it in a positive light. Because yes, even negative things that happen in your life can make positive outcomes if you know how to channel it that way. But most people use it, instead of using it as a strength, like, yo, I did this, I'm here, and even though my past doesn't define me, I can push forward. They use their past as a crutch. My daddy wasn't there, so that's why I'm a street dude.
Why can't you just be you? Why is poverty a badge of honor? Why is making bad decisions in the streets a badge of honor? Why is seeing a jail cell one of the best things on your resume? And to my people that grew up in the streets and my people that have spent time in jail, most sound-minded people understand that that is not a place to be. That is not a place I want to be.
It's a badge of honor because you don't really pay attention to the people in the hood that are messing up and life ain't going well for them. What you do see are the hustler, ballers, gangbangers that are really killing it and making that money, riding in that Cutlass or sitting on dubs, fucking banging out the trunk. You see the girls walking around with the new clothes and new bags because they with that dope boy. That's because the people that are doing big things in the neighborhood are the bad element. And those are the people you look up to because those are the people that have things. You're in the hood, you don't got shit. You look around, who has shit? The people that are doing some of the most fucked up shit. So who do you want to be?
For every athlete that you see in football that make it, people forget about all the people who busted their knees, who are now like in a wheelchair, handicapped because mental brain damage, CTE. Everybody forgets about those. But y'all focus on the dudes that got the rings and this, that, and the third. Oh, they got the trophies, they got the titles. Yeah, I want to be him. But everybody forgets about how many times his knee blew out. How many times his back, he had to go to surgeries and stuff because his back and got back in.
Yeah. You can't just glorify the people that are doing well in the neighborhood. And you know what? That's also why Gen Z is changing, though. Because they have the internet and they get to see outside the neighborhood and the people that are doing big in other ways. They don't just have the dope boys, the pimps, the hustlers, the gangbangers, the kingpins in the neighborhood, whatever, the chiefs, whatever. They don't have just those people to look at to glorify. They actually have the internet to show them other ways.
Word. I think, to be honest, I hope y'all learn from this our episode and just see that there are other alternatives for you people that think the street life is cool. It's not. I'm telling you, I work clubs, I work hospitals, I see dudes that come in with from gunshots and this, that, and the third. And the last thing you want to talk about is that street life is hard, the street life is cool, with your mama seeing you crying on a closed casket, bro. Think about that and just remember, you can stream now. Try it.
Well, I'm PhilltCast. That's KodyBear.